Hello, guys. My name is Jim Rat Crypto, and this is Crypto in the Morning, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're covering the newest. To be honest, I'm starting to cover stuff so fast that my friends don't even know what the fuck it is. So, and that's what one of my skills is like, I'll listen to shit for 4 hours while I do other stuff because I just have always done that. And, Sam sometimes is in content creation mode like 24/7. Just because he's really been doing that for a long ass time, and I'm still like stuck between like content creation mode and like I'm still so used to watching all these guys that like listening to these 3-hour live streams, but now I pick and choose a little better. Like when Dipcatcher comes on, I just have this intuition that he's going to be dropping some alpha. So I'm like, I love listening to Dipcatcher. I love listening to these certain guys. Pick and choose who you listen to, guys, and listen carefully because it's very important to understand people's motives when they're giving information, why they give information, where it's coming from. And Dipcatcher just checks all the boxes to me. He's like pulling up the code while he brings all this stuff up, like letting everyone know what's going on. Like, even though he knows we have no idea what we're looking at. And lucky is my pool, guys. We're already getting into the pool wars. Guys, Maximus has added 4 new staking pools. 3 new staking pools. I'm sorry. Lucky, Deci, and Trio. Is that right? Lucky, Deci, Trio, Maxi, Team, Base. Wow, I'm already getting there, guys. Do your ABCs every day. You get better. I'm super excited. Guys, if you could spam Dipcatcher and Gold Key in their DMs and their Telegram on Twitter, and just see if they'll come on. If they're busy, they're busy. I don't care what they're doing. I just want to talk to the guy. I love Dipcatcher, and he's a busy guy. But we love spamming people. Guys, tonight, me and Sam are going to talk a little bit about that phishing attack on the on Uniswap. A little bit of FUD there, a little bit of, to be honest, my first look at it was like, this is not the exact title of what it is. It wasn't like a direct Uniswap attack, but more so an ERC20 phishing attack. So we'll look into that more specifically so we can cut through some of that FUD. And me and Sam are really excited to get into it. We're focused up. I went to Hershey Park yesterday with my brother. There's actually a really cool recording. Like, he held the phone out on one of the scary ones, and I just have the hex.com shirt on. And I was like freaking out. So that one could be cool. I'll see if he'll send me that over. Dipcatcher in the chat. Nothing but smiles here. And Dipcatcher, I appreciate your stream so much, and all those giveaways you do, they're really fun. I like the funness of it. Guys, I look like absolute poop, but I don't care. DeFi proof, 1 minute, 9 seconds. We'll be talking about it all today. Guys, I might be going on with DCC and Justice tonight. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going on with Dollar Cost Crypto tonight at 8 p.m. The guest that will be along with us, unconfirmed, but there's like a couple guys that are really you're going to want to pay attention to, and I'll be dropping a thumbnail for that, guys. Let's see what Sam's been up to. We'll be back in 1 minute and 9 seconds.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way.
DeFi proof. Yeah.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Yo, what's Gucci? It is an awesome morning. I had a fabulous workout this morning. I did some sets of 200 reps, but that's not what we're going to talk about, my massive biceps. We're going to get into some awesome stuff today. You had informed me right before the stream that the Maxi team, so Dipcatcher and Golki, are working on some really cool stuff that we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about a fishing scheme that ripped off about $50,000 from LP providers. I found the screenshot of the
50,000.
$50,000.
That's it.
But it looked like, so I read through it while you were doing your monologue here, and they put together a phishing scheme to make it look like they're going to get an airdrop. And when they do this for an airdrop, this is one way how people get
That happened to me. That's how I got hacked. That's how I got hacked. It was called more. No, it wasn't called more. It was called.
But they stole like 10 grand from you, right? Or $15,000.
At the time, it was like 40.
Yeah.
At the time, it was 40 grand. Again, that was almost the tippy top. And that's why it seems so detrimental. Again, you got to put yourself in my shoes at that time. I don't know the future, like I couldn't tell you we were going to drop 95% at that moment.
I'm sorry. It's 4.2 million.
I was going to say, I was like, what, 42,000? I was going to say, why didn't GRC make the news for his phishing attack? I was like,
thank you. So I did the math in my head there, and I was definitely way off. I think 2 zeros.
Big brains in the chat, guys. Big brains all over this chat today. What's up, y'all? Ugly sons of bitches. Crypto Gains Club, Sweaty Edits. I love the name Sweaty Edits. Elliot. Guys, we're talking about the stuff that makes you money in a bear market. This is the kind of stuff that makes you money in a bear market. And yesterday we were talking about making money in a bear market too. We were talking about staking icosahedron.
Yeah, so what is
liquidity on those pools? There's a little bit of competition between these two gentlemen. I'm not afraid to say it.
Between
Alex and Dipcatcher. It's friendly competition, of course. These guys are the friendliest guys on the planet, okay? But let's be honest, they're both punching hard, and they're punching at they could have stopped with an uppercut, but they both took right hooks right after. Same time. I love it. Guys, I like that. I love that. Put pressure on other men.
And also too, there's an interesting thing too. There's another project out there. We don't need to talk about their name, but that is trying to copy what Golki and Dipcatcher are doing, right?
Well, copy, but like add
it. But it better be like the very bad copy on like the.
Well, it's just like, again, the future is marketing. Which one of these guys is going to market the best? I promise you, they're the ones that will be the best. And your boy GRC is good at marketing. Okay. And I understand this market, what people like to see, what like to talk about, you know what I mean? And what do I bring up to you over and over and over again? Like Sam's like way on one side, I'm on the other side for one of our like natural tendencies is mine's just to look at people, what they're doing, social cues, blah, blah, blah. His is to look so far into the detail that it's like he can concretely say facts about the product. Like, so we come together in the middle and it turns into a mush of both because you need 100% working product and you need 100% guerrilla marketing. It's just the way it is in this world. If I want to be a big bodybuilder, it does not matter how big I get. Yes, I would have to get to I don't mean a competition bodybuilder. I mean a social media bodybuilder. I could get to 175 pounds and then you know what I'd have to do? Spend $500,000 on my fucking social medias, get some sponsorships, figure shit out, make that shit poppin' because there's already like a game plan. Like people have already done it.
Dipcatcher Maxi benefits from Hedron because we get a bunch of Hedron. Hedron benefits from Maxi because we are hoarding.
That's so true, though.
Bag. Yes, so that's a good point though, because the Maxi token is collecting Hedron, and they're not like dumping it. Like a lot of people who got a 10x bonus for the Hedron, we've talked to a bunch of them, and they are dumping, right, or have already dumped.
Well, maybe Dipcatcher will pull up his slides so I don't have to look at his YouTube video. Dipcatcher.
Yeah, we sent them an invite, so whenever he's ready to join, he can join.
Through some of those slides. I don't think they're available anywhere. But
Dipcatcher, we promise we only need you for like about 15 minutes. We won't take up too much of your time.
And again, Dipcatcher. The only reason I want you to come on too is I don't really feel like this information's very hard to digest for me, to be quite honest. The Maxi information in particular, to me, it's not confusing, but there's details there that you people need to know. The staking, like for example, let's just bring off the top of my head the 1 year perpetual mic action. With the 1 year,
Yeah, I was just trying to fuck
you're
with
good.
it.
The
No,
1 year
wait.
perpetual, Sam. So you get that out. What do you think the stake will be for the next one? Like so
Well,
the 1 year perpetual, what do you think the added will be onto the next one? That's important. Dip Catcher has really nuanced ideas about these things because he's obviously thinks about this 24/7 because he's an absolute gangster. And the smile that he wears on his face ear to ear while he's doing it is absolutely in a world of absolute negativity. Like I just want more friends like that. Like, and it's not like I need to communicate with anyone every day, but like the people in my circle, whatever that is, my circle, the people I chat with, they have to be positive. They have to be happy because getting to that point is free of charge. You don't have, that's nothing to do with who your parents were or what kind of money you were making when you were 18. You have to figure that shit out as you go. And some people figure out how to put a big old smiling grin on them face every single day, and they build shit and they have fun and they're creative. Look at him. These probably ideas came out 2 days ago in his brain. I mean, a week ago. He's like, maybe we could wait. You think there's more use cases? Why don't we just do more? Okay. It's a derivative product, guys.
is he going to do the 1-for-1 swap with Maxi with all of them? Because that's going to
Well, now we got to get into the so base is a 1-for-1 maxi. I know that for certain off the top of my head. Now, I'm not
base is 1-for-1 for Hex, I thought.
For Hex.
And then
then these other ones are probably for maxi. So that makes more sense because the way he phrased it was these are the maximum staking pools. He said these are the maxi staking pools.
Take a second, guys. In the chat here, I just shared this on Twitter. Jump over to Twitter. Just click this link real quick. We'll keep talking, so you won't miss anything. Jump over to Twitter. Press the retweet here because I think we're going to have some Dip Catcher on shortly. Before he gets on, we're going to get into the hack or the phishing attempt on Uniswap V3. But take a second. It's shared in both of the chats here. Just jump over there. Say what's good on Twitter. Share this out. Okay.
I got too excited, and now I keep forgetting the topic.
Maxi,
I don't forget the topic. I know what I'm going to bring up. I'm going to start by going to Dip Catcher's tweet where he first tweeted all this out because that's where all the information is. That's what I did this morning. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to share my whole screen here, and I've undoxed all my shit so I don't have to worry about nothing anymore, which is fantastic. I made my streaming computer like a full-on streaming computer and just took everything off of it. See if it would make it a little faster. And then I'm going to share. Whoops. Oh,
yeah. This is normal. Yeah, this is good.
You can see my stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is our boy Dip Catcher. And let's go to his tweets because that's where all the juice is generally. So, guys, in general, and this is very important. People, it doesn't matter what people say. So important how to get information. I know people that won't learn this shit for months. I learned it in 45 minutes because I knew where to find it. But it took me a long time to find all this shit. But guys, so Twitter is one of the best places. Go straight to the source. The man who wrote the code. Let's see what he's talking about. Announcing not only will Team be launching with Base, it will launch with 3 other staking pools. And I'm assuming these are 1-for-1s for Maxi.
Potentially. Wait, before keep it right here for 1 second because I think he made a left clarification in the comments. Let me just take a look real quick.
And I'm just going to go to the thread.
It says all 1-for-1. So I'm assuming all of them but Base because I thought Base was Hex. I thought Base was 1-for-1 for Hex.
But I think these are Maximus. So just the verbiage, Sam. I think because they said these are the new 3 Maximus staking pools, like that the other 2 were Hex for like Base and Team are for Hex, right? Just give me a second. We'll get right to clearing that up. He's going to be on here a minute. We don't have to jump around on that. Okay. Why don't we just read it? Because he probably wrote it all right here. Maximus Base. This is the home base, guys. So Maximus Base, home base. He likes using these little words to like categorize everything, which is kind of fun. The least risky, most certain Hex staking pool. Most certain stake pool. You can always, You can always come home by redeeming hex for base every year. So that's that perpetual 1 year use case, Sam. So that's like the earliest amount where you can still get gains, but you can get your money out as fast as possible. It's the most flexible of the long term. So Maximus Trio, guys, in sync with the macro crypto cycles, Trio earns competitive yield redeemable every 3 years, guys. So let's say you're somebody that had a staking ladder, but that 3 year mark is somewhere where you never really got your stakes in. Maybe you got 15, maybe you got 1, maybe you have 10 and 5, but you wanted some on that 3 year. Instead of locking into a smart contract for the rest of your life, you can buy Maxi Trio, get a better rate, and be able to redeem it, guys.
Liquid. It's liquid too.
And no gas fee. I forgot to say it, Sam. And I'm not going to let that one slide without saying it again.
So no gas fees.
They pay the gas. They pay the gas.
Is it they're paying the gas, or is it just they pay one gas and then it's distributed across a bunch of people so that it's a lot less?
He always repeats that you're not paying for gas. That's what he repeats it like as the user. He's like, basically he's saying like they're going to pay for the gas. It doesn't matter how they have to do it. But I'm not sure. There's probably an immutable way to do that. But guys, just we'll clear that up in a minute when he comes on. Based on the current average stake lengths, Maximus Lucky. Based on the current average stake length, interesting, Courage at 6.2 years, and midway point of the Maxi stake, lucky holders experience high yield redeemable every 7 years. Maximus Decimus Deci for the long-term gladiators who can tolerate high risk to achieve maximum yield. So at that 10-year point, guys, if you know, that is when you have the maximum T-share rate. So that will, when he says maximum yield, that's what he means, because the T-share rate caps at 4,000 days, I believe. That could be the wrong number.
Yep. Every year past base first year, you get 20% more of the T-share rate, I believe, or something along those lines. Does that sound about right?
It's 3-to-1 at the max rate.
Meaning,
so if you get 3 times the T-share, if you'd go for 4,000 days plus.
Okay, gotcha. So $1,000 worth of hex will get you, say, 1 T-share today, which would get you 3 T-shares if you did 10.
If you did 4,000 days.
4,000.
That's just like that point on the chart where you can like mark it. Okay, about to hop on. Sam, let's talk back and forth for a second, please. And okay, real quick, let me make sure everything's running and I tweeted everything out appropriately real quick because we have a second. Sam, this is really cool. I'm really excited. I'm excited because a little goes a long way in stuff like this. I'm just, in my opinion.
This could be interesting because we saw the Maxi. We had Dip Catcher on, and they were trading at less than 1-for-1. What does that mean? Like when Maxi and Hex first, it was 1-for-1 Maxi for Hex, but Maxi has liquidity, it has Hex, it has a multiplier on Hedron, and it reduces fees. So when you look at this, you're like, they should never trade 1-for-1. And there was a time where it was trading less than 1-for-1, meaning you could take your Hex, 1 hex, and you get 1 point.
Was there a time?
Yeah.
Was there a little period where it was?
Yep. So somebody
after the 14 days it went down and then back up.
So somebody could have taken, say, 10,000 hex, got 12,000 maxis, and then had a 2x.
We should go to Dex Screener on that date and see what
I'll pull it out.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to take a while.
No, it takes 2 seconds because I remember when it was.
You do?
Yeah, it's because I watched it. I was like, fuck, this is what I was paying other shit off.
I ran the game on Maxi. I really did. And I sold a lot of my liquid stack at 11 cents. So I'm looking for a better buyback point. But again, I could get smoked and wrecked. And I know that. But I have a lot of hex stakes and I have a lot of, I got a lot of stuff going on. And I have not much money right now. 12.9 Maxi on market. Ooh, Hex Logic. Ooh.
Can you ask when was the release date of Maxi, guys? I don't remember.
If you go to the chart, you can just look when it's sideways. Just in the beginning, it'll show you.
Yeah, I didn't know if we had the exact date here.
It was 14 days though.
14. Yeah, so it's 14
anyway,
days.
Dip Catcher's on, so we're not going to have too many problems answering the questions. And he's wearing a tank top, black, just like mine. I'm going to have to request a bicep, guys. This is one of the greatest guys in the Hex community.
Hey, good seeing you, brother. It's been,
What's up,
it's been a
y'all?
little bit of time. How was your vacation, or was it a money honeymoon or
Yeah,
something?
give us a recap because you just went through an experience like no other, unrelated to crypto. I want to hear about it because I saw the pictures and they were amazing.
Yeah, I mean, got married on June 4th. Then right after the wedding, went to Greece for like 2 weeks. And so we were in Santorini, Naxos, and Crete. If I was to go back, I'd want to spend more time in Crete. That was just awesome. And then I've been to like 2 weddings since then. It's like back-to-back weddings. So now I have a couple months of no weddings, little hiatus in the wedding season. But yeah, it's having pretty good time.
Hell yeah. And then you've been super busy with the development and planning for the maxi like ecosystem, or whatever you want to, whatever vernacular you use. Do you want to give us dive straight into that? I don't know. We
How
kind
many
of
days ago did you come up with the ideas for the other 3 tokens? Was this something that's been right since you launched Maxi and got the feedback, or have you just been thinking as you've been chilling?
So in general, from the start, the contract was designed to be able to like put in any length. So like
Smart.
I've always like the plan has always been that we were going to launch more. But then we were planning on just kind of rolling them out as time went on. But because, team gets paid out of that bonus sharing from those pools, and base was the only one that you could trustlessly guarantee that it was going to pay, because there would be no guarantee that future pools would. We just wanted to launch them all at once, just so users who are minting team can, not have to have expectations or any type of, forward thinking about that, where, all those pools are just there from the start. And then also, what better way to kind of kick off this new phase than, a simultaneous launch of like 5 new tokens? Like, when has someone ever launched 5 tokens at once? And so we thought that could drive, like the existence of these other stakes, we thought could just bring more attention to all of them, as opposed to just like marketing the base stake on its own. So giving people options, we thought that was important, because people literally, I get DMs almost every day like, hey, when's a 10-year stake? When's a 7-year stake? Like, people asking for these. And so, we just figured, it's so easy just to roll them out. Why don't we just do it all at once?
I see a future where there's front ends where the people that go onto the front end for the first times, like when they jump into this ecosystem for the first time, like I'm not talking, maybe they have a little crypto experience and they see all these things. And me, I think about adoption. I think about marketing all the time. I just think about, and I can see people not even knowing. They're just like, all these tokens, this is the best ecosystem. Everything's been doing good. There's great marketing here. There's great smart people here. I always say this, it gets lost into the speculative bubble almost, to the people that don't even know really what's going on, but they know the price chart, right? Like, they know this is cool, this is popping, people tweet about this shit, like it's cool. And then you're getting these 1-for-1 proof of T-share, like what? Always going up in price with added bonuses where you can trade from someone like myself who got hacked. It's just like, it all makes a lot of sense to the point where I love it.
So let's start at the top with base and then kind of work through, right? Because the comment you made earlier a second ago was that some of this is feeding back into base from at least the one pool. So would love to hear, like, that seems like that's the place to start, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, base is the 1-year stake. So every year it starts, and base is kind of like the calendar for the whole like team system, because the team payouts are based on if you had staked your team for an entire base stake. So that 1-year stake is just it's kind of like the calendar for it all. And so base is just a 1-year stake, repeats every year. There will be like a 7-day mint phase followed by the year-long stake, 7-day mint phase, year-long stake. And then for, these other pools, they're the same contract as base. So, there's at the same time, there's going to be the 3-year stake with Trio. So you mint at the start, you mint 1-to-1. So 1 hex per Trio, 1 hex per Lucky, 1 hex per Deci. And then
is it 1 hex for 1 base as well?
Yes. Yeah. So everything at the start is 1-to-1. Either 1 hex per, base, Trio, Lucky, or Deci, or 1 maxi per team. So team is the only one that you mint with maxi. Base, trio, lucky, and deci, those are just hex stake pools, so it's hex in at that 1-to-1 rate. But then every year when the stake, or at least for base, every year when that stake ends, the following minting rate is based on the earnings during that year. So say, just for ease of the math, say that the base stake earns 10%. I think it'll earn probably 13% or 14%, but just say base is earning 10% in that first year. In that next year, you need 1.1 hex to mint base, because over that time, each base became worth 1.1 hex. And so after that stake ends, there's, that first stake ends, the redemption and minting rate gets, ratcheted up based on the earnings. And then now people can mint and redeem at that rate. And then it continues like that forever.
So if somebody has base at the 1 year mark, do they have to do something with it at the 1 year mark?
No, so you can redeem it at that 1 year mark, through the contract where you get, the 1.1 hex per base. But no, you don't have to do anything. You can just hold it and it rolls forward. So you can just hold it, and then, after that next year, say it's worth like 1.2, and then 1.3, and it just kind of ratchets up like that with, effectively with the daily payout. It's like some measure of the daily payout per T share. And so, and that's kind of how it is for all those, for trio, lucky, and deci. It's just that as those stakes end, the new minting and redemption rate is set. And then it just, kind of goes from there. So at the start, they're all 1-to-1, but after that, it'll be, probably 1.14 for base. For trio, it's probably going to be like 1.3, I think. No, probably more than 1.45. Lucky is probably going to be like, I don't know, 2-to-1 maybe. And then deci is probably going to be like 3-to-1 maybe. So after that first stake.
Well, that's 10 years down the road.
When it comes to the gas fees, just so we can be, because I've heard a bunch of times like that we basically just don't have to pay for the gas fees. How does that function actually work?
So just only one person has to pay for it.
I see.
And so it's no one's individual responsibility, but just somebody, because when there's a function in there in the contract for ending the stake, and anyone can run it so long as that stake has been completed. And so whoever chooses to run that function they cover the gas in that step, but the contract does save who ended it. So something that I've built but haven't really rolled out is it's like a gas pooling contract. So people can like send Ethereum into this contract, and then whoever and then it reads from the.
I have a feeling there's going to be 100 people that want to pay for it.
Yeah. Like I
have a feeling like everyone that has a shitload of money wants to be the address that pays for it anyway, just because it's like almost a little charity / fun. Because I mean, let's be honest, like some of these guys have a lot of wealth, and ending any kind of an end fee for anything is not going to do anything to them. And there's a lot of people in this community that have a lot of positive feelings towards these kind of projects, and they've earned a lot of money. I've earned a lot of money on Maximus, and just because I understood the value right away. Like, it just made a lot of sense to me. It was just 1-for-1 T share derivative. My God. Like, and that is so amazing when it comes to the marketing of something like this. And because the financial incentive for you, as you've mentioned a few times, is more so just the product doing well, because we all own Maxi, right? When it comes to like marketing for something like this, what does that look like? What does that feel like? I don't own a project. I don't have anything of this knowledge. What does that feel like? What kind of burden is that, and what kind of plans is it normal to like come up with, or is this something that you just want to like free flow and people that get the value get the value?
So the whole marketing thing, like the whole reason why we made teams something that everyone could get involved in, where you have upside in the success of these pools and the growth of these pools, that is like really kind of like the marketing engine, because like. I beat the drum on Twitter, but I wouldn't consider myself like a marketing expert. And what I've seen the most successful form of marketing in Hex, for instance, is just how many people have skin in the game that care about its success. And then they're out there, making content, doing live streams, tweeting, writing, getting news coverage, like all that stuff, going on a cross country tour, hosting seminars, like, known as, I guess Hex was paying them to do that, via their stakes that they had to bear the risk to buy and start for themselves. But so I wanted to create something like that where, more people than just Gold Key and I have skin in the game, that where they want this to succeed. And then from there, it's kind of, like I assume that people will try all kinds of things, how to like promote and grow this, and then certain things will hit. And so that's kind of how I view it, where I wanted to create the incentives that would, that would compel people to, focus on those like growth and marketing efforts. And much like Hex, where like Hex is a complete product where, you don't need to be a developer to get involved. It's really about onboarding and education at this point. That's kind of what the intention was with these pools, is that there's really nothing like technical that people need to contribute to. It's just marketing and growth. And so
it's kind of frustrating in a way, like not for me necessarily, but just I'm looking at an industry where I used to be looking at the bodybuilding industry all the time, which is only marketing. It's only marketing. It's like all the products are the same. 90% of the products are the same. And who's the best at marketing? Greg Doucette, some of these bigger guys, Mr. Athlean X. Like they have information that others have. I could find that information anywhere, probably if I dug, but they've marketed themselves in such a way that it's explosive. It's absolutely explosive. Everyone and their mothers know about this stuff. And I'm just thinking as I go, how can I, well, I just think about how I can help, obviously, make this just more mainstream, right? And that's what I'm kind of trying to do here as we go. Obviously, we're all early and we're kind of just like waiting for the influx, but we're all putting ourselves into position to be like really in a good spot. What's the worst case scenario for a derivative product like Maxi, like in the financial world? Again, I don't know that much about derivative products in general, and Sam could definitely add insight on this. Like, what is the worst case scenario for something like Maxi, even if Hex were to survive? And if Hex were to like
no demand for it, like no one wanting to hold or use it, because that kind of like the whole reason why the Maxi, and like the rest of these pool tokens are, part of the value proposition to that is that it's liquid. You can sell it. So if there's no buyer, then it's like, okay, that kind of stuff, you still benefit from those gas fee savings. But if there's no buyer for the coin that's backed by Hex, then perhaps that means there's not going to be a buyer for Hex. So like low demand on the underlying asset, like that's the number one, failure.
And the demand right now, we don't have to go into that because it's one-sided to the good side. There's no one selling. There are some people selling, of course. You know what I mean? You look at the deck screener, you'll see more green than red.
Yeah,
for sure, by a large margin.
I wanted to backtrack real quickly because you had mentioned you put together something related to collective, like bundle related to gas, and you were talking about that, and then we had actually changed subjects. What was that exactly you had built to that, like pools gas fees together to like help pay for gas fees and something?
Yeah. So in the Maxi contract and in these other ones, it saves who paid the gas to end the stake, and then this other contract can read from the pool contracts and see who paid it, and then the person who paid the gas can flush the contract, like this gas pooling contract. So users just send ETH to the contract address, and then only the user who paid for the gas can withdraw it. And so, I don't think it'll be such a problem on these shorter stakes, but perhaps like it's mainly, I think, for the longer stakes where it could be, tens of thousands of dollars of gas, depending on what the gas, you don't know what the gas prices are going to be, but it could be shockingly high. And then maybe someone is willing to do it if like that gas pool has raised like $5,000, and so
I want to pay that gas fee. I want to pay the gas fee.
Yeah, literally,
like I would pay the gas fee
because
if we get to that point, and I'm just being honest, like if we all get to the point where, let's say Trio, for example, if we get to the point 3 years from now, I'm not going to mention the macro because I'm not like the guy who's going to tell you exactly when things are going to turn around, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. 3 years from now, we're going to be happy peoples, and we're going to be very happy enough and involved enough in this community that I think there will be a line on that gas fee. Like I feel like people are going to try to just like, I'll be probably sitting there clicking on it because it'll be fun. It's fun. It's a give back. I'm part of the Maximus pool forever.
Mm-hmm.
on the if you do the first end stake, I love maxi, and if Sam, you have any more questions that you wanted to bring up, I
wanted to ask about the team. So we covered the different pools, and somehow they're feeding back into the team token. And the team token you'd mentioned is 1-for-1 for maxi. So can you talk about the team a little bit more and how those feed back into it?
Yeah. So,
Please.
So team, it starts with a one-time minting phase where you mint one team per maxi, and then you stake your team, and you have to stake. So it's not like hex staking where you choose like a duration. You pretty much just stake for the next year, and if you stayed staked during a whole year period, then you get your percent of all of the hex and other tokens. So the coins so far are hex, hedron, maxi, ETH, pulse, and USDC. But right now the pool contracts pay hex and hedron into the team contract. And so if you stake team during a full year, you get your percentage of all of the hex and hedron and maxi incomes from that year. And so every year there will be the base contract paying into team. So team stakers get what turns out to be half of the bigger pays better bonus. So like team, the whole reason behind team is that it's like supposed to be like a growth engine of the pools. And so it's purely like an incentive based commission pretty much, where the fee, it's really like a bonus sharing, but the fee is paid out of yield that the user only got because they participated in the pool. And the larger it is, the more that team makes. If no one joins the pools, then team doesn't really make anything from that pool. So it's like an incentive driven kind of like sales mechanism. And so every year when these, so every year when base ends, every 3 years when trio ends, every 7 years when lucky ends, etc., those are going to deposit hex into the team contract, and then that is split up amongst all the people that were staked during that year.
So where is there like an excess amount of hex? Is that why is some being hex taking out of those other pools and going into the team?
So that's like the incentive for the team people to grow those pools is that a part of the bigger pays better bonus is
in each one of the 4 pools.
Yeah. In all the pools gets paid to team. So people that want to hold those pools, they can also hold team and stake team, and then to them it's like they're not really paying anything from that because they're from the pool side, they're sharing half of their bigger pays better bonus, but on the team side they're earning it. And so it's kind of it's all meant to be like a symbiotic thing where the pool, like the stake pool people, the base, trio, lucky, deci, they don't really feel like it's coming at their expense because that's money that they only got because they joined the pool. And it's only half of it. And then, so it actually amounts for like a really small portion of the yield, like less than 1 day a month of yield. Like it's a small amount. And then that's the incentive for team to promote the growth and the advancement of these pools.
So you said Hedron, Hex, PulseX, and Pulse. But so I understand where Hedron's coming from, the pools, right? Because it's hard to program it. I think you'd mentioned at one point that it's hard to program that in there, and that's the incentive that's going towards team. Half of the bigger pays better or longer pays better.
Only bigger pays better.
Half of the bigger pays better for each one of the 4 pools gets into the team as the incentive, and that's happening on a 1 year, 3 year, 7 year, and 10 year. And then you had mentioned Pulse. Is PulseX in there too? And where do those two come from?
So Pulse and Maxi is what I said.
Pulse. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So where do those come from?
So Pulse, maybe at some point in the future, there's a contract that pays in. There's nothing right now, but that would be pretty cool if there's some lending protocol or something that, somehow broke off revenue into that. Who knows? No expectations. No even idea. No
sentence into my head.
So future things that someone may be compelled to do. We're just kind of leaving it flexible there. The maxi. So again, like any future contract that somehow accumulates maxi and pays to team, that's it. But during years 3, 6, and 9. So during the minting phase of team, you mint one maxi per team into the contract. So 20% of that maxi that's minted for team, it gets burnt. So that increases the redemption rate for all the remaining maxi. 30% of the maxi that goes into team gets held in this trustless escrow smart contract that releases part of the maxi in years 3, 6, and 9 back to team. So you get, so if you're staking your team, you actually get some of your maxi back during years 3, 6, and 9. And then half of the maxi and a copy of all the team that is minted go into something called the mystery box, which is a mystery. And it is an absolute mystery.
Okay. So the 1-for-1 team to maxi, a maxi to team, 20% is burnt of that, which then it makes the maxi tokens. Well, not necessarily, because it's at the end of the maxi contract, the people who you can't claim somebody else's, right? So what, or are those going to be like, is there a way to emergency end stake those so that the maxi, it gets into the maxi or something to make maxi more valuable with that 20%?
Well, so the when they're burnt, they're removed from the total supply. So like if you go on the Etherscan and you click the total supply button on the maxi contract, you'll see what the number is. And when coins get burnt via the burn function in the contract, that total supply number goes down. And so the redemption rate at the end is calculated based on the total supply. Yeah. And so
I thought total supply can actually be burnt. It's not just going to a dead address.
Yeah. It's going to it's going to the 0 address, but by running the burn function in the contract, which is how the burning works, it actually does reduce, like it removes it from the total supply figure that the redemption rate calculation is based on.
So there is going to be an uptick in the payout for maxi token holders. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then that was like our version of, because a lot of people wanted an airdrop. We were thinking of ways to do some type of airdrop but it's just like, okay, are we just going to make some coin and just give it to people? Like, that's kind of silly. And so this was a way to actually, deliver an airdrop to maxi holders where it's tax-free, because you're not taking possession of new coins. It's just your
capital appreciation goes up
at the end. Yeah. And then you don't have to click to claim the airdrop or go through that, or, run into people trying to scam people with fake maxi airdrops. Like, we didn't want that. And then, so doing this where it's just burning some of the supply as a form of an airdrop, we thought that was just like a good user experience and achieved the goal without, any headache. Like, it's just so simple. Like, it just works. And then the 30% of that coins, that reduces the circulating supply over 3, 6, and 9 years. So so after 3 years, so of that 30% bundle, so of all the maxi that's held in that escrow, so it goes, what is it? It goes 1/6 of that maxi that's held in that escrow is released in year 3. 1/3 of it is released in year 6, and then half of it is released in year 9. So year 9, so it's kind of like 3 big payday events where, in addition to the base contract and the trio contract happenings in year 3, 6, and 9, you're also getting a maxi. I call it a rebate because it's just like the maxi that came in is just kind of going back out. So you have to be staked during years 3, 6, and 9. So perhaps we see massively high stake rates during that year. And when the team is staked, it is illiquid. And like it's much like when Hex is staked, it's burnt and then it's reminted back into existence. It's just like that. So when the team is staked, it could, there could be virtually no team for sale. So maybe the price goes up, but as the price goes up, you can early end stake your team, and you pay like a 3.69% penalty pretty much, which means that if you staked 100 team, and then you ended it before your term was over, only what would that be, like 96.9 3-1
or something. Yeah.
only 96.31 team is reminted, and the rest just remains burned. The supply of teams starts at the maximum, like after the minting, and then it will slowly deteriorate. And I imagine a lot of those reductions in supply will happen around times where either the team price is pumping or the team price is dumping, and people want to end their stake.
So one of the things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about base is that, and this is going to happen for all of them, but you're going to have a subset of people who lose their keys. And by the way, if you have to run at any point, just be like, guys, I got to fucking go.
Yeah, you
Like,
can. He said he had to leave in just a few minutes here. Just go ahead and Sam, your last question or whatever question.
Okay. So base trio, the 7-year and the 10-year. There's going to be people who lose their keys, who lose access to this. So the bigger pays better bonus is actually going to grow bigger over time, right? Because base, say 10 million hex, right? And 5%, 26%, whatever that fucking number is not going to do anything because they lose access to their capital, which means the bigger pays better. Yes, assuming, as you mentioned, demand, right? That demand has to be there. Assuming demand increases, then the bigger pays better bonus is going to increase each year towards the team side of things. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like the bigger pays better bonus will grow just as people lose the keys, and from just there being a larger supply. I think I tweeted the other day, like at some point in like 300 years, the like equivalent, like to have a bigger pays better bonus, because like the supply is always growing. Right now 150 million hex is a lot, but maybe in 200 years, when the hex supply is like 5 to 10 times greater than what it is now, maybe 150 million hex won't be so much, because that's all that right now that's like 0.02% of the total supply, but after that time it'll be like only 0.0001% of the total supply. So at some point, almost everyone's going to get bigger pays better bonus. But but team is, different. So like the base, all the hex stake pools, you just hold on to that and you roll forward. But for team, when you're staking your team, you pretty much have to check in with the contract once a year to prove that you're alive and to prove you still have your keys, because we don't want these payments from these pools to be going to dead addresses pretty much.
So and this, I'm sorry, this is the last thing. The team ends at 1 year, 365 days later, and I forget because I'm on vacation or whatever the case is. Is that just kind of SOL, or how does?
So you'll have you can update it anytime within the year. So you can lock in for next year anytime during the current year. So there's not like
or take yourself out. If you were like, hey, I want to sell a portion of this and then restake the whatever I don't sell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the default is that you don't roll forward. There's no penalty for late end staking, but if you want to lock in for the next year period, you just have to check. You have to declare that to the contract at any point during the year. Yeah. So you have like a full year to do that at any time to lock in for the next year.
Hey, thank you, Dipcatcher. You're
awesome. I do gotta run, but
no, you're awesome.
Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you so much for going on. You got all our questions answered, and you are the man, dude. I hope you have a great day.
I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Wow. What are your thoughts, Sam?
So that's very interesting.
From a user perspective, what do you think?
So we got a couple things going on here, right? Like the things for me that are both interesting about this, because most people are not gonna, they have families, they have other shit going on. So a lot of people I see being in pools, but for me, what might be more interesting is the team piece of it and the maxi, right? Because that's interesting. 150 million hex, maxed out, longer pays better, maxed out, bigger pays better, a 4x on the Hedron. We have Icosa coming, which could potentially, depending on how successful Icosa is, it could help Hedron. And that supply of stakers, 20% of it's getting, 20% of the people who come out of that pool to go into the team are getting burnt, which means the total amount paid out to maxi holders increases.
I don't know. This is super interesting. This is why we're seeing a premium on maxi. Like
right around 2x, right around 2x. So it's pretty wild, guys. It's a wild time in crypto. You can figure out a lot if you're paying attention. And that's what we do here at Crypto in the Morning. We do the paying attention for you. I keep up to date with the news. We dive into it. We get the founders on here every single day, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm going on with DCC later, Dollar Cost Crypto. And well, we're going to be having a special guest. I'm not going to announce it yet because there's two people that it's between, and I got to make sure everyone's communicating and everything because it's still early for some people. So
what time are you doing that?
I think 8 p.m. But again, that one's just wait for the tweet on that, guys. Put the notifications on my Twitter.
And I'm also going on with Money Gang Crypto and Funding Gym at 1 p.m. EST. I'll share that in here.
Drop a link on that.
If you guys want to come over there and say what's Gucci, we will be on at 1 p.m. EST. This is going to be interesting. I bet that we're probably going to be talking more details, and we'll get some extra opinions and thoughts on, team, base, and the 4 pools of hacks here. What is your take? Which one of those 5 are you most excited about?
That 3-year stake is interesting to me because the timing of the first. In 3 years from now, I have a feeling crypto is going to be in a really good place. And that could be the last 365 of those 2 years, or it could be the last 1200 of those 2 years. I can't tell yet because we don't know technically if we're in a recession yet. So it's kind of hard to tell, but at the same time, that 3-year mark is like a mark for me where it's like I'm willing to wait 3 years for anything. Like 3 years is a good amount of time. I'm 28 years old. Having some tradable liquid stuff is cool. I like it. I wish I could market it harder. I just don't know how yet.
Crypto in general, or the
like
base?
Hedron and Maxi.
Hedron and Maxi?
Yeah, both. I want to support products a lot.
Let's the Hedron and ICOSA. I enjoyed the show we had yesterday. If you guys didn't catch it, we talked a lot about ICOSA and all the details around it. You guys should go check that out. Just whoever's channel you're watching, click on the channel, click on videos, and then watch the one from yesterday. Okay. About that, how are you potentially going to do? Are you going to do anything related to that when it comes out? And if so, what is the play that you're going to take on that?
I'll probably just do a little on each, to be honest. Like, I'm just going to spread it out. I'm pretty much a maxi right now.
But are you going to do an HSI stake for the ICOSA?
I have never done an HSI stake yet. I am going to do an HSI stake, and I am going to dump it for ICOSA probably. So that's going to be my first move, and then I'm going to look at providing liquidity with ICOSA and Hedron.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I think the pools are going to be really small in number of volume of users. And if you look at the total volume of if the total liquidity in Hedron, I think the last time I looked, it was like 845,000 or something. Maxi, roughly 565,000. Those are really small pools, and they have really strong products attached to them that are direct derivatives of a rate that can only go up. So again, when we're talking, people that don't understand the T-share yet, when you do, just understand that products that are directly one-to-one copies of something that is minted from a T-share plus added bonuses, plus you can trade it, there's going to be huge premium there. And I just like the product, but yeah, I'm going to get way more involved in ICOSA, like way more involved. I want to see what's going on over there, and I want to see if I can make some bear market gains. I want to make some bear market gains with the stacks that I already have.
I think I'll be staking. I'm not going to do anything with NHSI in through that contract because I personally believe that if you have to do an HSI through there, you're probably gonna have to sell it at a discount. So I'm like, okay, say hypothetically somebody takes $1,000, they buy Hex, they take the Hex, they stake it as an HSI. They take that HSI and they go to the ICOSA contract and they sell this to mint ICOSA, right? So to do that, it is a laborious process, right? But then also the variable there is how much the ICOSA token is going to be worth. Right. So if you get 10 million of this ICOSA token and it's worth say $700, right? Well, then you just took a 30% discount for your $1,000, where I think that for me, at least how I'm seeing it, is that a potentially different way of approaching this could be take that $1,000, buy Hedron, take Hedron and stake it to earn this thing. And then I still don't, not necessarily.
There's some rates and stuff that we're going to obviously have to look at, like just some rates. But again, how bad does the market get? How many people stop paying attention to this kind of stuff? Everyone. And in a bull market, it's different. This is not a bull market. We're talking about derivatives on derivatives in a bear market. So the opportunity is just there in your face. Most of the bear market gains so far in this ecosystem seem to have been trading Hedron and Pulse Dogecoin on their oscillations. Yes, a lot of the gains that have been made for sure have been from Pulse Doge sells and definitely from Hedron sells. So there is a little bit of like masturbation in between like the community's money, if that makes sense. Like it's almost just like moving around more, but is that how products work when they move forward? Probably. If I had to assume, because I can only assume every great product has a bunch of derivative products that are attached to it. And then that's kind of how it works. Whether or not that's great for adoption or whether that's great for our bags or whether that's great for whatever, we'll see, guys. We'll see. We're excited for the future. Dipcatcher made some great points on the Hex inflation rate. That got my brain moving a little bit. So I'm excited for everything, guys. We got a lot coming up. We're here every single day. Sam's got a show in an hour. He's going to drop the link to. I dropped a donation address below, guys. If anyone wants to donate, that would help me very, very much. And we'll keep this thing moving. We have a huge week and we have a huge day, actually. So I'll be on today again. So whatever goes on, I'm going to be on today again, 8 p.m. probably right around that time. So just be ready for that, guys. Follow us on all our social medias. We're keeping these tight and to the point because there's information to get. When there's information to like get across, I just want the episode to be done after that so it can just be a good episode and we can just move. Some days it's a little more open format. You guys know that. But as we get more in-depth in crypto, you really find out that I could cover probably 11 things a day for the rest of my life. If somebody was paying me to do it, like there is enough to cover. You promised me that. I'm not reaching too hard to find this information, guys. Just go to Twitter. Look up my friends, and they're coming up with new products every 5 fucking seconds. It's ridiculous. And I'm grinding nonstop until I have my way. Okay? Until I have my way.
This is a great show. Concise, to the point. We got a lot of information in here. We're going to have more shit here tomorrow, so make sure you press the bell notification for tomorrow. You want to take us out of here with some DeFi?
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
With your heart. With your heart.
Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the Hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pro chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hurt. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hurt.